Sports, 1 through 5. I'm going to say the following 5 sporting terms in English, then Spanish, and clap, and I'd like you guys to repeat them with me, okay? Number 1, to play sports, jugar. To play sports, jugar. The male player, el jugador. The male player, el jugador. Number 3, to swim, nadar. To swim, nadar. Number 4, the male swimmer, el nadador. The male swimmer, el nadador. And finally, number 5, the sport, el deporte. The sport, el deporte. Let's look at number 1, to play sports, jugar. Now, don't get to play sports, which is jugar, confused with tocar, which is to play music. Everybody say tocar, tocar. Tocar means to touch or to play. Like, you could say tocar el piano, to touch or play the piano. Tocar la guitarra, to touch or play the guitar. So we're doing to play sports, which is jugar. Everybody say Garfield. Garfield. Garfield is a famous cat here in America. He's got his own cartoon strip and a couple movies. And he's this really fat cat who's kind of lazy and is always eating lasagna. So Garfield, the cat, shows up to your playground and he wants to play sports. And your friends are looking at each other going, who wants to play sports with Garfield? Everybody say that. Who wants to play sports with Garfield? I mean, nobody wants him on their team because Garfield's fat, lazy, and he's a cat. He doesn't have a prehensile thumb. Can you imagine a cat trying to catch up a frisbee? That would be terrible. So anyway, nobody wants to play sports with Garfield. Jugar is to play sports. Now, if to play is jugar, el jugador is the player. Adore means a person who. Listen and repeat. I adore a person who. I adore a person who. You've seen this before. You probably just didn't realize what you're looking at. Everybody say matador. Matador. A matador is the guy that kills the bull at a bullfight. Now, matar is to kill. Everybody say matar, matar. And adore is a person who. So a matador is a person who kills. So if jugar is to play sports, a jugador is a person who plays sports. Cool. Now, to swim is nadar. Okay? Now, you guys have heard of an auditorium. Everybody say auditorium. Auditorium is where you go to listen. And a lot of you might have heard of a natatorium. Everybody say natatorium. Natatorium. It's the fancy word for a big swimming pool. Well, an auditorium is a place where you go to listen, and a natatorium is a place where you go to swim. So nadar is to swim. Now, if you've never heard of a natatorium, visualize yourself swimming, and your friend comes up to the pier or the dock or whatever and sees you swimming and says, "What are you doing?" And you say, "Nada," which is nothing. Remember, nada's nothing. I learned nothing, not a thing. And he says, "You're not doing nothing. You're swimming." So nada is nothing, and nadar is to swim. Not my best trick ever, but hopefully that'll help a couple of you. Now, nadar is to swim, so nadador, again, ador means a person who. So a nadador is a person who swims. Now, a female player would be la jugadora, and a female swimmer would be la nadadora. Finally, sport is deporte. Notice, P-O-R-T, P-O-R-T. Here's how I remembered it when I was in school. I love the sport of soccer. I love the sport of soccer. I love the sport of tennis. Deporte, sport. Sport is deporte. Deporte, sport. Sport is deporte. The tricky thing is, it ends in E. It doesn't end in O or A, so you have to memorize that sport is masculine, which makes sense because for a long time, almost all the people that played sports professionally were guys. So sport, el deporte, is masculine. All right, time for the post-test. Let me cover up these 5 sporting terms in Spanish. Take a little bit, look at these 5 terms in English and say the Spanish equivalents out loud, or what I think is a better idea, look at these 5 terms in English and write the Spanish equivalents down on a piece of paper. This has been Sports 1 through 5.